Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the engineering of our own bodies. We're going to look at what holds us all together, what happens when things go wrong, and most importantly, the incredible and often overlooked blueprint our bodies have to rebuild themselves from the inside out.
So let's just start with a number. 80%. That is a huge number. And you know what it represents? It's the percentage of us who will have back pain at some point. So yeah, this isn't some obscure medical topic. This is a story that almost every single one of us will live through. It's a story of pain, sure, but also of resilience.
And you know how it starts, right? It's that one moment. You bend over to lift a box and bam, a sharp twinge. Or maybe it's just the stiffness in your neck that just doesn't go away. That's usually where the journey begins, with us trying to figure out what on earth is going on inside our own bodies. To get us all on the same page, let's talk about a word we've all heard, arthritis. Now the thing is, it's not really one single disease, it's more of a catch-all term. And the key thing to understand is that it affects the joint as a whole. It's not just one little spot. Think of it like a crack in your phone screen that spiders out across the whole thing. That's why it causes those two classic symptoms, pain and feeling like you just can't move like you used to.
But man, look at all the different ways our bodies can be challenged. You've got the sudden, really obvious stuff like a broken bone. Then there are mechanical problems that build up over time, like a disc herniation. You've also got inflammation, like tendinitis, structural issues like scoliosis, and even these system-wide conditions like fibromyalgia that just affect everything. It's a huge spectrum.
So, we know there's a problem, but what is it really? We have to go from just feeling the pain to actually seeing what's causing it. This is the diagnostic part. This is where clinicians basically turn into detectives, looking for clues to solve the mystery.
And that investigation starts with a really hands-on approach. First up is palpation. That's just a fancy word for using your hands to feel the area, checking for tenderness or swelling. That gives you the first clues. Then they'll do reflex testing, which is kind of like checking the wiring to make sure the nervous system is talking to everything correctly. And finally, they'll use these special tests, very specific movements designed to basically poke the bear and recreate the pain, which helps them zero in on the exact part that's causing all the trouble.
Now that physical exam is super powerful, but let's be honest, it's a bit like a mechanic trying to figure out what's wrong with a car just by listening to the engine. Sometimes to really know what you're dealing with, you've got to pop the hood and take a look inside. You need the full picture.
And here it is. This is that full picture. What you're seeing is an MRI of a lower back. And that big white blob, that's part of a disc that is ruptured and is pushing right on a nerve. This is the smoking gun. This is what's causing that intense shooting pain we call sciatica. It's a pretty clear problem, right?
Okay, now hold that first image in your mind, because this is the same person, same spine, just 5 months later. And the herniation? It's gone, completely, vanished. This is the body's repair blueprint in action. It's this incredible, built-in ability to heal, to literally break down and reabsorb that rogue disc material, all on its own, often with no surgery needed. It's amazing.
So when you see the body do something that powerful all by itself, it really makes you ask, how can we best help that process along? And that brings us to the treatment toolbox, a whole bunch of options that aren't meant to replace the body's healing power, but to work right alongside it. Generally speaking, you can split these tools into two main paths. On one side, you have conservative care. Think of this like being a gardener. You're creating the perfect environment for the plant to heal and grow on its own. We're talking physical therapy, bracing, stuff like that. On the other side, you have surgical intervention. This is more like being a mechanic. You're going in and directly fixing a broken part. This is usually for when the damage is just too much for the body to handle alone.
And within that conservative care path, things can get incredibly specialized. This quote about scoliosis treatment is a perfect example. The big idea here is that good therapy is not just a list of random exercises. It's a super specific, targeted approach. It's like a locksmith making a key for one very, very specific lock. And all that specialized knowledge leads to really smart, data-driven decisions. Just look at this table for scoliosis. The choice of what to do isn't a gut feeling. It's all based on the calculated risk of the curve getting worse. If the risk is less than 40%, we just watch and wait. Hits 40%, we start physical therapy. At 50%, we kick it up a notch with intensive rehab. See? It's a logical, step-by-step plan that gives just the right amount of help at just the right time.
So whether you went the conservative route or the surgical one, the journey is not over when the pain goes away. In fact, you could say the most important part is just beginning. And that's the process of rebuilding and getting your full function back.
So what does that rebuilding actually look like? Well, let's take an ankle fracture, for example. You don't just go from a cast to running a marathon, right? It's a careful step-by-step process. First, you just start with gentle movements to get the joint used to moving again. Then, you build a foundation with something called isometrics. That's tensing the muscles without actually moving, just to wake them up. From there, you add resistance to build real strength. And finally, you work on stretching to get your full mobility back. Every step builds on the last one. Now, here is a really cool, kind of weird way we can tell if rehab is working. It's a phenomenon called centralization, and it sounds totally backward. But if your leg pain starts to go away and you feel it more in your lower back, that's actually a fantastic sign. It means the pressure on that nerve is easing up, and the problem is literally retreating back to its source. It's a huge sign that the treatment is working.
So at the end of the day, the goal here isn't just to be pain-free. It's about empowerment. It's about getting your normal life back, building up your strength so this doesn't happen again, and then moving into a fitness routine that keeps you healthy and strong for years to come.
So we've seen how our bodies can break, but much more importantly, we've seen that they are hardwired to heal. We have this incredible, natural blueprint for repair built right into us, which leaves us with one final thought, one big question. How can we all become better partners in that process?